Going. Here's my note card. All right. Cool. All right, so we're going to start it off. All right, so I'm going to be talking to y'all today for my speech class, Speech 110, and we're going to kick it off. All right, so over 220 years ago, something mysterious and secretive happened on Oak Island, island in Nova Scotia, Canada. And what happened there is there was a depression found in the ground, and so two boys decided to start digging, three boys started digging up what was in there. And this was in 1795. So in 1795, Daniel McGinnis and his two friends stumbled upon this depression, and every 10 feet they found oak planks. So mystery has it that with 150 feet down, there's something buried there. So in 1795, looking at what they found, people started to dig into it, and later on they found that a stone was removed, and it was called the 90-foot stone because it was found 90 feet down in the ground, and it had symbols carved into it. These symbols were like a cipher, so no one could decipher them, and so later on, a couple, 20, 30 years later, they were able to decipher what they thought was the clue. And what they decided the cipher said was 40 feet below, 2 million pounds are buried. Now, you hear 2 million pounds, you automatically think treasure, right? So obviously people from all over the world heard about this, and they started to come in. Well, when they removed the stone, it set off a booby trap, and the booby trap flooded the tunnel, so making the digging hard and impossible to do. In 2000, Jay Nichol wrote a book titled Secrets of Oak Island, and he identified Franklin Delano Roosevelt, John Wayne, and polar explorer Richard Byrd had gone onto the island to try and seek the treasure. And most people don't know that those guys are of the Freemasons. All right, so there's a lot of Freemasonry when it comes to Oak Island and people searching there. So one of the things that people wondered is, why would people such as this, an American president, actor and stuff, an explorer looking for treasure on Oak Island? Well, there was more than just treasure they were seeking. It was the adventure portion as well. Some other folks that notable was Robert Dunfield. He was a big CEO of a company, and his method of searching for treasure was blowing everything up with dynamite. So he destroyed precious landmarks that possibly could lead to the treasure, and who put it there. One of the other notable folks who was digging on Oak Island was Dan Blankenship, and instead of trying to find where the money pit was, over time it was lost, he dug his own borehole, which they named it 10X. Upon digging down into the ground, over 250 feet down in the ground, he found what he thought was a treasure chest, a body, ancient tools, and all that good stuff. But before he could bring anything up, another booby trap was set, and it flooded the tunnel. So he had to stop his treasure hunting from there. The current seekers of the treasure right now is Rick and Marty Lagina, and what they're doing is they're using technology on their side. They're using what is called the excavator, and what it is it's a 6-foot wide caisson, like a big tube, metal tube, and it's sunk into the ground, and it's 6 foot wide. They're able to use a hammer grab, and it goes down and it grabs the stuff out of it, and it dumps it down, and they filter through it. They also are able to use radar advancement, so they can stick a radar tool down there and see if there's any cavities or anything like that, telling them if there's treasure. So hopefully science will be on their side, unlike McGinnis and his friends when they first started, where they were just digging by hand. So knowing, what's down there is important, but also knowing why is important as well. Who put that there? Why did they put it there? When did they put it there? Randall Sullivan wrote a book called The Curse of Oak Island in 2018, and he noted that some of the people that they believe are the originators are going to be pirate William Kidd's treasure, Sir Francis Drake, Spanish treasure ships, the Incas who were fleeing from the conquistadors, Sir Francis Bacon, who many believe was the author William Shakespeare, and also the Knights Templar. The most notable out of all of them right now is the Knights Templar, and there's evidence to back that up. So in 2017, bones were found, bone fragments were found 150 feet below the island, okay? So you're imagining a small island in the shape of an elephant, right? 150 feet below, there are bones, okay? And they're small, about six inches. They didn't know right at first if they were human bones or not, so they had DNA testing done on them. Come to find out, 2 of the bones, 2 separate individuals, okay? They did the DNA testing, and one was found to be Middle Eastern. J. Teedle wrote that when the sequencing was done, the bones were dated to be prior to 1750. All right, so those are going to be the originators, because nobody found the money pit until 1795. So after finding out that one was Middle Eastern, the other one was found to be of European descent. So during that time, if you think back into history, 1700s, right? During the time of the Knights Templar. All right. Let's see. Another key fact that was found for evidence is called Harry Drayton's cross. It's a lead cross, and it's about yay big. Okay. And something that's interesting about that is Rick Lagina went to Dome, France, and that was cataloged by Jay Quinn in an article that he wrote saying, "Have the Laginas found anything on Oak Island?" And what that documented is the fact that when Rick Lagina went to Dome, France, they found carvings in the wall where the prison had been for the Knights Templar. They did that by using their teeth and their nails into stone, okay? And the cross that was engraved on there was almost the exact same thing that they had found on the shores of Smith's Cove. So, looking at the evidence that they found, looking at how far deep it's been buried, they've also found gold, they've also found parchment, they've also found pottery over 150 feet in the ground. So that makes you wonder what's buried there. Something of great historical significance is there. And, I'm looking forward to when they bring that about. So whether or not you believe treasure is buried there, is really up to you. But what it comes down to is something was buried there. And so what Morgan states to us is it appears far too simple to dismiss the efforts of lawyers, doctors, presidents, to just go and dig for something that they imagine is there. It takes someone of intellectual experience and rational thought to go and try and spend this much time and effort into getting something out of the ground. So the History Channel is currently going and recording out in Oak Island to find what they can see out there. So hopefully this has been an informative thing for you, and that you've been interested in that. So that's all I have. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.